Welcome to today's Crosspoint Devotion. We really appreciate you coming to watch these videos each week. We hope they're encouraging to you. Today I want to talk about a common bond that we all share as human beings. Now I know there's a lot of diversity in life, but there is one common bond that we all share, and that common bond is love. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Look, I know some people who don't even love me, who don't love anybody. And you know what? You're right. There are some people that seem to have a very difficult time loving you and loving me, but they still know how to love. Let me illustrate. Those people who may not be able to love you or may not be able to love me, they still love money. They still love their possessions. They still love their pets. Some of them love to shop, and I mean they shop a lot. Some of them love hunting and fishing. And some of them, if you live in Starkville, Mississippi like we do, they love their favorite sports team. So even though they may not be loving you and they may not be loving me as far as human beings, they still love something. And that's what I want to talk about. We all have this common ability to love. And guess where it came from? It came from our Heavenly Father. He wired into our DNA the ability to love because He most wants us to love Him. And that's where the problem kicks in. Satan has come along and he knows that God's ultimate desire is for you and for me and for everyone to love Him. And He's even created a way for us to love Him, and that's through Jesus Christ. And so what does Satan do? He tries to distract us from loving the most important thing. And he gives us all these other options just like we talked about. We love our pets. We love our sports teams. We love our hobbies. We love shopping. We even love pornography, as bad as that is. And that's a problem. And so that's why I wanted to bring to your attention the next section in 1 John. It comes from chapter 2, and it starts in verse 15 and goes through verse 17. Let me read what John says, and here's what it says. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride in one's possessions is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world with its lust is passing away, but the one who does the will of God remains forever. John reminds those believers who are reading his letter that before we met Jesus, we had a lot of things that we loved that were not very godly, and they were not very eternal. They were just earthly things. But once we met Jesus, the priority, the main love of our life should be God the Father through His Son Jesus. And if there's a second priority that's going to be really close behind, is to love each other. That's what Jesus Himself said. I've come to teach you how to love God, love each other, just like you love yourself. So when we meet Jesus and we follow Jesus, we begin to change our loves and our affections from the things of this world to the things that are eternal, the things of God. And that's what I want to encourage you to do as you think about how this devotion can help you walk more faithfully with Jesus. And that's one of our ultimate goals with each of these devotions, is to help you walk more faithfully with Jesus. The way for you to do this in light of these verses today is to ask yourself a very hard question. Do I love God more than I love everything else? Now, if you'll do some real personal self-reflection, you may find the answer is not what you want. Because it may be that you're still loving some of those things from the world like you used to love before you met Jesus. But now that you've met Jesus, your top priority is to love God. And then out of that love for God, you're going to love others. And so I want to ask you to do some deep self-reflection. Do you love God through Jesus more than you love anything else? Well, how does this help you love other people and help them to understand who Jesus is? Well, as long as you keep loving the things of this world, just like they're loving the things of this world and they don't see a difference, you're not going to be able to share the gospel very well. But once they begin to see that your priority is to love God through Jesus Christ, and they see the transformation that's making in you and the way you love them, then maybe that's going to be an attraction that'll draw them toward the gospel so they can meet Jesus and reprioritize their loves as well. And the priority of their love will then be Jesus, just like it is for you. I hope this devotion encourages you. Share it with someone else if you get the chance, and then come back next week and join us again for the next Crosspoint Devotion. We hope you have a great day.